Sunday, October 15, Day 9. Our coach had arrived in Passau around 5 the previous afternoon. We had boarded our new ship, Viking Skadi, settled into our identical stateroom, and later that evening attended a welcome function to introduce the new crew. The ships were supposedly identical, so it was all familiar territory. But in time we were to get the impression that this vessel seemed less well maintained than Viking Bragi. Our shore excursion for today was meant to be a walking tour of Regensburg, but we had passed that town yesterday on our drive towards Passau. The option was offered to take a trip back to Regensburg, but it would have involved another 3 hours on a coach, and we'd had more than enough coach travel the previous day. In any case, had we chosen that option, we would have missed the opportunity to see Passau, so we decided to spend the day wandering the old town on our own. We were glad we did, because Passau turned out to be something of a gem. Passau, on the German-Austrian border, is one of Germany's oldest cities. Known as the City of Three Rivers, it rests at the confluence of three rivers from three directions: the Black Ilz, the Green Inn, and the blue-brown Danube. Oberhaus, the hilltop fortress that looms over the town from across the Danube, is now one of the largest preserved castle complexes in Europe. Dating to 1219, it was initially another bastion of the prince-bishops of medieval Germany that were not just spiritual leaders but also secular rulers. It's now home to a history museum, youth hostel and restaurant. The city grew to attain great economic and political power because of this location, and the legacy of its past prosperity is evident in its graceful arcades and rococo facades. We had a good time exploring the plazas and back streets on our own. icon of Passau is St. Stephen's Cathedral in the Domplatz. The facade, glazed in white lime and with restrained decoration, did not prepare us for the extraordinarily rich interior of lavish stucco decoration and frescoes. Its current form was renovated in the late 1600s in the Baroque style after a devastating fire. When we visited, the interior was under renovation once more, and there was a service underway, so we could not fully appreciate the splendour on display. The cathedral organ, with its 5 sections, is the largest in the world. We wound through back alleys on our way down to the River Inn. And strolled along its banks around to the confluence point. We stopped for lunch at a delightful restaurant on the Rathausplatz, the town hall square. The name was not so appealing, but the service, food, beer, and ambience were just what we needed. Monday, October 16, Day 10. That day we had chosen an expensive optional shore excursion, crossing into Austria by coach for a full day of Salzburg highlights. We left the Danube behind and were transported south for nearly 2 hours, past charming mountain villages, rolling hills and pristine lakes, crossing the river into Austria. It was cold but sunny in Salzburg, and our first stop was to be the Mirabell Gardens. The gardens are, of course, known as one of the settings used in the Sound of Music movie. Whilst the beginning portion of the famous Do-Re-Mi number is filmed in the centre of the old town, the song reaches its peak at the gardens. This is where the Pegasus fountain can be found, recognisable from the scene when the children dance around it. And of course the nearby steps where the children hop at the end. We then made our way across the Marko-Feingold pedestrian bridge spanning the Salzburg River, heading towards the old town.
See the guy doing watercolors over there?
At the end of the day, we would come back to this old man selling his watercolour sketches of the old town. 4 of his works now hang in our music room. whilst one of us is a musical Philistine, the other has played and taught viola for the best part of 4 decades. So she was naturally drawn to sites associated with one of Salzburg's favourite sons. We had limited time before our scheduled lunch stop, so one of us would wait patiently outside whilst the other performed a record-breaking appraisal of the museum in the birthplace building. The Church of St Peter's Abbey has a continuous history dating back to 696 AD and was where Mozart first performed his incomplete Mass in C minor in 1783. Our lunch experience was located right next to the church at the St Peter Stiftskulinarium, supposedly the oldest restaurant in Europe, established in 803 AD. I say experience because it wasn't just a quick feed. We got the full Sound of Music treatment.